guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to another foundation first impression and review video. Today we are trying the Milani 2-in-1 Conceal and Perfect Foundation. Ever since I hauled this in my recent American haul, I will link it down below for you guys. The amount of requests that came through for me to do a first impression and review on my oily skin for this foundation have been amazing. Most highly requested foundation ever. So today we're going to do that. So I'm not going to ramble on too much. If you want to see how this applies and how it wears on my oily skin type for more than 10 hours of wear, then keep on watching. So I've got 3 colors of this foundation because I had absolutely no idea what shade I would be. I've got number 4 medium beige, number 5 warm beige, and number 8 light tan. Between all 3 of these, we can hopefully get a match for my skin. That is what the packaging of the foundation looks like. It is quite heavy actually. It feels really luxe, very similar to a higher end foundation. And then you remove the cap and it's got like a little pump applicator nozzly thingy. So on the back of the packaging it says medium to full coverage, lightweight oil-free formula, long wearing, water resistant and sweat proof. I might have to do some sweating once I put this on so we can put that to the test. It's made in LA, California. You get 30 ml of product in this. And from memory, I think it cost about $9 US or $10 US. Don't quote me on that. I will link it in the description bar below because I did buy this a long time ago. So let's put it on, hey? Just prime my skin really quickly. I'm using MAC Skin Base. Really great primer. One of my favorites for oily skin, actually. I've got acne. Oh, you know what this is? Halloween candy. Chocolate, candy, probably lollipops. I'm going to use a foundation brush to apply it. I'm going to start with warm beige and we'll see if this matches at all. Pumping the product onto the back of my hand. So that's 2 pumps of product there. Quite thick in consistency. That's not moving anywhere. It looks kind of mousse-y. This colour might work actually as well. So I'm going to go straight in with the brush. Picking up that product. I'm going to start to dot it sort of all over my face. Oh, it's pretty good coverage already actually. It kind of doesn't blend that well. Not as well as some other foundations. I'm sort of having to put more effort into getting a smooth surface of this one. Alright, so I've covered most of my face with that original 2 pumps. And this is sort of what's left that I'm applying to this last area here. Kind of dried down a little bit. Doesn't feel powdery, but doesn't feel as tacky as a fresh foundation would either. To be honest, with the brush, this is not sitting well on my face at all. I just can't get rid of the streak. So what I'm going to do is go grab a beauty blender and I will be right back. Oh, that completely solves the problem. Blends out nicely with the beauty blender. Okay, so there you go. First thing that we've discovered is use a damp beauty blender sponge and probably not a kabuki brush. Alright, so I'm pretty happy with that. To be honest, the pores on this area of my face don't look amazing. At the minute, they do look a little bit more emphasized than they do with some of my other favorite foundations. Let's zoom you guys in so you can see what my skin looks like close up. Okay, so this is how we are looking at this stage. It's definitely very good coverage. It looks quite smooth on the skin. It feels a little bit tacky, but not too tacky. It's kind of dried down, very matte finish. I definitely still need concealer underneath my eyes personally for the look that I like to go for with my makeup. But I do feel like sort of just here and here my pores are looking a little bit more emphasized than they normally would. So what I'll do now is I'll go ahead and apply the rest of my makeup and I will come back and show you what it is looking like after I've got all the other stuff on. Okay, so I've got the rest of my makeup on now and this is what it is looking like. There's definitely a noticeable reduction in the visibility of those pores on the center of my face, so thank you. I think it's okay. It's looking quite nice. It doesn't look cakey or heavy at all. I have got a tiny little bit of settling into fine lines just here on my forehead, but again, nothing like dramatic. And I think that once my natural oils do come through, I think that'll be completely fine. So far, so good. I'm really happy with how this is looking at the minute. What I'm going to do is come back in about 4 hours or so and give you guys a bit of an update on how it is wearing. And then later on tonight, I'll come back again and show you a final look and then also give you my final thoughts on the foundation. Okay, so we've just hit the 4-hour mark for wear for this foundation. Let's have a close look at it. Oh, this is looking good. This is looking really good. So all of those concerns that I had initially about enlarged pores, really standing out with this foundation. You know, that's certainly gone. The fine lines have settled. It's wearing really well. Maybe it's looking a tiny little bit cakey on my nose, maybe just a fraction, but pretty good. Do I look oily? I don't think I look oily at all. I think my skin looks really nice. Doing well over my breakouts down here too. Like, they're really well concealed still, and I didn't apply any concealer. Like, I just used the foundation on those areas, so there's no redness, there's no separation. There's maybe a little bit on my nostrils here. It's looking really good. It doesn't look heavy or cakey or anything, and it hasn't oxidized. Okay, so that is my skin now. I am really impressed with how this is looking, and I'm not oily. I mean, that's the main thing, isn't it? With such an oily skin type, that's my primary concern with foundations, is that they're gonna make me look like a disco ball. You guys know what I mean. I know that you know what I mean. But yeah, no, this is looking really, really nice. So far, so good. I'm going to come back again later on tonight, right before bed, when I take off my makeup. So I will see you guys then. Okay, so we are at the 10-hour mark now. This is what my skin is looking like now. As you can see, I have produced a reasonable amount of oil, but the foundation has held up really well underneath that oil, if that makes sense. I'm definitely looking decidedly dewy. Unfortunately, at this stage of the game, I definitely would need to touch up with a powder. Like, I wouldn't feel comfortable going out, you know, with my skin as dewy and oily as it is right now. But the colours held up really well. The coverage has lasted really well. Like, it hasn't worn off around my chin. It has definitely worn off a little bit on my nose, and I will show you that in a second when I zoom in. Now, I did wrestle Georgie in the bath, and I got splashed with water on the side of my face here. And I think it's, you know, it's done pretty well with that. So it does hold up to the claim of being water resistant. Let's zoom you in now so that you can see a little bit closer up what I mean. So hopefully you can see, and don't mind like my lipstick is worn off, I had dinner. Hopefully you can see what I mean. I'm quite oily. I've got a fair bit of oil through the T-zone. You know, on the chin here and kind of on my forehead as well. If you look quite closely at my nose there, it has kind of settled a little bit and worn off on my nose here. So I'm kind of on the fence for this foundation, guys. Like, I got a good 6 hours of wear out and it looked perfect for the first 6 hours, but unfortunately in the last 4, my oils have really just come through and, you know, started to affect the wear of the foundation and how the foundation looks. Like I said, the only place that it's worn off is on my nose, which is really, really good. Normally I would get, you know, it separating everywhere and mixing with the oils and stuff, so it has held up pretty well as far as that goes. For interest's sake, let's quickly try touching up with a powder and see what happens. Just taking a little bit of translucent powder on a brush here, and I'm just going to set it and just see what happens. Okay, so it's set down pretty well everywhere else, except my nose is looking super cakey, and most of the coverage has actually worn off now. Like, it's got red patches. So yeah, unfortunately, that hasn't worked that well on my nose. Probably this foundation's definitely not going to be in my top foundations, but it's certainly not the worst foundation I've ever tried. And it's very, very affordable, very high coverage. And definitely for skin types that aren't as oily as mine, I think this would be perfect. But unfortunately, after the 6 hour mark, you know, my oils have won. They have won the battle, unfortunately. Please let me know in the comment section below if you have tried this foundation and your experience with it and what you thought of it. I would love to know. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video, and leave me any requests for any other foundations that you want reviewed or any other products as well. I love you guys so much, and I'll catch you in my next video. Bye! So there are lots of different factors that we are battling, you know, through the day to keep our faces looking fresh and flawless and matte. And these 5 foundations that I have here to show you, I promise you, are incredible. They're very full coverage. They're very